So I'm currently reporting live from the Knowledge Proliferation Station, and someone I'm playing with, we need to get a click track of a track that is of indeterminate tempo, and we don't know what the tempo is. There's a couple of changes. It might be speeding up and slowing down. We don't know. But anyway, so it's a whole nightmare, and we can't just set the metronome to whatever number and be done with it. So what I've done is I've imported the track into Reaper, and I'm going to get a MIDI map from this. There's probably a way to automate this these days, but I'm too stupid for that. So instead, what I'm going to do in Reaper, and there's a different workflow for various different DAWs, but I'm going to show the master track by right-clicking on this area over here, the track panel. There's also a shortcut for that, and now with that, I get this stupid little thing up here, but also I get this awesome little thing here, which is our tempo map. So, when I went over here, I already used my tap tempo to find out that that's 86 beats a minute, so I'm just going to drag that down to 86. I can make that even more accurate. There we go. 86 beats a minute. So that should line up perfectly with what the drums are doing, but it doesn't, because it doesn't quite line up due to this free time section at the beginning. So I'm going to put a little tempo thingamabob here. So now hopefully that will stay at 86, and I can drag this section up or down until that lines up with the beat. Let's just drop that to whatever this is. 83.7. There we go, that's getting better. There we go, 83.7. Now there's a click through this free time section, or there could be a click through this free time section. I don't have to worry about so much. It could also be because there's some space at the beginning of the track. I don't really care. What's important is that I now have a good starting point. And if I hit this, it's close enough to 86, but it's not quite right. Currently, you can see it's starting to go out of time as we get to the second bar. So from 86, we can drag this down a little bit. And you'll see the grid kind of match up. Now it's at 84.9, which makes me think we're probably dealing with 85 beats a minute. Cool. We're now on 85, and it seems to stay in time perfectly. Yes, we are now perfectly in time, all the way through. So I'm just going to keep looking through the track until I see something that isn't in time, because everything looks like it's in time here. So here at bar 85, we've shifted to what feels like a 7 time. 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. So we can definitely change that to 7, 8. There we go. But the tempo has also changed. So what we can do is, just like before, we're going to drag this until this is gridded. 112.7. Let's try 113 here and see if that works. That works. Does it stay in time? Since everything's gridded, we assume that this was recorded to a metronome. Well, it will have been recorded to a metronome, I'm sure. It tends to be whole numbers. Anyone using half numbers or integer numbers, either it's been doubled in speed, so you might find that you're playing, 112.5 instead of 225 beats a minute or something like that, unless you're doing some real fractional modulations or something like that, but generally it tends to work out all right. So this all seems fine. I think there's probably a meter change here. 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that seems like a meter change, so I'm going to add that in. And now we have a tempo track that fits the entire thing absolutely perfectly, and we don't have to think about it at all. I suspect that this should have been 85 beats a minute the whole time, so I'm tempted to cut that, but because I don't know that, I'm just going to listen to it with a click. I've at least got a sense of the pulse, which will speed up as you go to 85, but that's fine. No one's going to pick up on that 1.3 BPM shift, so that's kind of good enough as a click. So I'm now going to export this with my good old export project MIDI. There we go. Done. Right, who knows what's going on here? But either way, that's how I get tempos when the track moves around. This also works for things that are ungridded. If they're just floating around all over the place. I'm doing a load of Gojira transcriptions right now, and they are all over the place, so this is how I get those tempos as well. Although sometimes I will snap stuff, but in this case we don't want to adjust the original track, mostly because we need backing tracks and things. But there you go.